Good afternoon, all, and welcome to the Soul Spark Vibe podcast. Today, today and every day, we are on a mission to spark your soul so you can ignite your best life, and we are in this together. I'd like to announce a third of our family tree here, Miss
Hello.
Jessica. Say what's up, Jess.
Hi.
So we brought in another cousin for numerous reasons, but we'd like her input. She has a whole different, totally perspective than me and Jen do. And I think you guys will, I think everybody's going to love her. And the love that we have for each other, I think, is going to emulate through our screens to yours. So the conversation today is on new moon in Aquarius. It's also the lunar new year. It's also the Chinese New Year, and a lot of Asian countries that surround their new year around the lunar new year. So it's a lot of things going on in the cosmic, and we'd like to get some conversation started and talk about it. I'll start us off. I'd like to bring to the table my experience of working with moon phases and how I feel very successful with doing that. For those who are like me and in the spiritual closet and don't may not feel 100% confident in sharing your thoughts behind working with the moon, I'm going to tell my perspective briefly and we'll chat. So when I started really truly I feel the moon started calling out to me as funky as that might sound, but I started noticing the moon more, and I know we talk about awareness a lot, but again, it's just bringing attention to the moon and how it was having an effect on my body and how I would act and the effect on the world around me. So I really started noticing difference. I didn't notice patterns at first. I just noticed that the moon had some impact on my life and my well-being and things that would occur around me. So as I dug deeper, I took a class. Actually, I participated in a class because I was so intrigued by it. It started with full moons. I mean, needless to say, when there's a full moon in the sky, it calls your attention. But I would notice that I would have more energy surrounding the new moon, and I was curious as to why that is. I would need less sleep. I would act a little different. My menstrual cycle would be affected by the full moon. And so as I dug deeper, I learned about all of the different moon phases. I know we've heard them probably, I don't want to assume, but throughout my lifetime, I've heard of, waning moon, waxing moon, full moon, new moon, the general. Well, those are the four phases. And then we can talk about crescents or the percent of illumination. But basically, I'm not trying to school anybody or be a science teacher, but let's just have a summary of what we're talking about here. So the sun hits the moon and the moon reflects the light of the sun onto earth, right? So and by the way, I don't know if I could do this with my hands, but the moon, you only ever see the same, so say this is earth, the same side of the moon. So we have this really funny dark side of the moon that nobody knows what's over there. So if you ever heard Pink Floyd's album or people talk about the dark side of the moon, it's because one side of the moon is never illuminated to Earth. We can never see it from Earth that way. So that being said, new moon, which we're upon today, I think it's tonight. I'm not sure exactly what time, sorry, but tonight, and of course, you have new moon energy. In my experience and what I've learned, and for the couple days surrounding the actual new moon, because the ancients didn't know the percent illumination, but they, when you can't see a moon in the sky, if it's not because of clouds or weather, it's because you're in a new moon phase, or because the earth is aligned. Like, you can't see the light shining off of the sun because the earth is in the way, if that makes sense. So this is a period generally that astrologists and astronomers and mystics and spiritualists will all agree that is a very reflective time, or I guess a reflective time. It's a time to set intentions. It's like when things are more at rest, and this because the sunlight is energy. So as the moon becomes more illuminated or more lit up, the energy is reflected back to earth in form of vibrations and energy. So when the moon is not reflecting that light energy onto earth, it's a time where there's less energy. And this is this is shown across all forms of nature, in animals, in weather, especially in oceans, tides, gravitational pulls. So us as humans, being over 70% water, are, whether you'd like to believe it or not, or think I'm a nut, or as some people would say, that you are definitely scientifically proven to be affected by the moon's phases. So here we are in the new moon phase, where it's a time of kind of where you want to set up your intentions for, as that moon starts reflecting more light towards us and starts increasing its energy upon us. So I don't know if I have some intentions myself for this month, but before I go too far, Jen, are you in agreement with what I'm saying
Yeah,
here?
no, I love this so much because it is, you like took it back to like a basic science class. And I honestly wasn't anticipating that you would go there with it. But like, I think it's a really good, just foundation to know, like what are we talking about when we're talking about these different lunar cycles and how they affect, like, it's important to know that the lunar cycles affect water, and us being majority of water, like that's part of the reason why we're so affected. Um, but yeah, so no, I don't really have anything to add um on what you were saying. I do kind of, something that came to me that I would like to share, and then I'm gonna pop it over to Jesse. But because this moon cycle is in Aquarius, and first off, okay, so something else is like totally nagging at me as well, and it was like it should just be like, it's just a side note. But how you said like you started noticing the moon, I love that you said that because it's interesting. I'll be walking and it'll be like a sliver of the moon, and it's like all of a sudden all of my focus just goes right there, and like I can pinpoint the moon in the sky. Like it's like it has, it's got this like draw to me. But I've never actually paid attention to like what I guess I really haven't paid much attention to the flow of the moon cycles with my personal life. Um so yeah, yeah, so that was cool. That was cool to hear you say. But
Thank
in
you.
Yeah, yeah, no, thank you. I thought that was a really cool point to make. Um but particularly this new moon is in Aquarius, and what I love about this new moon and what I love about being here with Sophia and Jess is that this Aquarius is all about like breaking the mold. It's all about like non-conformity and not fitting into a box of what you feel like you're supposed to be for familial reasons or societal reasons or anything like that. So it's like got this whole like non-conformist but like creative, and like it's like this ingenuity, creativity, expansion. And when I think of us three, first off, I think of like the biggest nonconformists, right? Like try and tell any of us what to do or put any of us in a box and you're gonna get sucker punched. I'm
Forget
sure of
about it.
it. So it's like it's cool to think about like the intentions that that we might be setting for this time. And yeah, just kind of hearing about like, because like I don't know if my intention would really fit into, maybe, but yeah, just kind of like seeing how that Aquarius aspect will be running through each of our threads. But with the new moon being like, that you have the new moon and the full moon, so it's usually like a 2.5 week period. And the new moon is about setting intentions. So uh, we thought it would be cool to kind of share our intentions, which I know Sophia was going to be getting into, but I kind of want to pop it over to Jesse first. If you're down for sharing, I know you have a lot going on, Jess, and yeah, whatever the intention might be, I'd would love to hear it.
Yeah, well, for someone that's not really experienced with the new moon and the different, I don't know much about the different type of phases of the moon. So Sophia's explanations and kind of describing it from the ground up was really helpful. And I didn't know that our bodies were made out of 70% water. So that's pretty interesting, and kind of seeing how that could align with the moon and like the changes that it makes, and focusing on the body changes. It does, at the end of the day, it makes a lot of sense, and it kind of, all the dots start to connect.
Mhm.
So that's really interesting. I don't know, Jen, what did you mention before with the intentions?
Oh, you mean like what the new moon, like what the Aquarius means?
Yeah, yeah.
Aquarius is like breaking molds. It's got a lot to do with like teamwork, creativity, technology. Um, yeah. Yeah, what I mostly pointed on was like the nonconformity, like
Mhm.
the kind of breaking the mold, not fitting into
So,
the box.
Rebellious.
like, changing from your normal routine and, like, pushing out into
Yeah,
a different zone almost.
yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I think that's really interesting. I mean, there's a lot with intentions that I think this kind of moon phase or Aquarius could help with for a lot of people by, like, getting out of their comfort zone and trying something new, like, you kinda like, getting out of your original mold, I guess you could say, like you mentioned.
yeah.
I agree. What would an example of that be for you?
For me,
Yeah.
oh gosh, I mean, I feel like well, since I'm in school, I feel like I'm in kinda like this tiny little mold, like, I get in this mindset of homework, school, sleep, repeat, homework, school, sleep, repeat, so it'd be really nice to kinda still be in school, still have that mindset and that focus, but, like, push out of that, break through that, and find, like, almost a what are you laughing?
I went the wrong way. I'm so sorry.
So, like I was saying,
I'm sorry, Jess, it's me.
break break through that mold and find, like, a new side and a balance between my life and that side of my life, so it's not just me sucked into that one area, if that makes sense.
Beautiful. So I think you
Mhm.
literally just made your first intentional new moon phase intention. And it could be like, correct me if I'm wrong, Jim, but the way like I try not to overthink this stuff. Like if I started creating a ritual for myself every month. So like literally I'll make a list, I'll write it down on paper. You don't even like people are like I don't know if they're aware of it, but they're setting intentions whether they mean to or not, because the moon is affecting us as people, and as the illumination grows, your thoughts are energy, are literally you can scientifically um show when you have a thought, it's a wave. It's energy, it's a frequency that you put out in your mind. So whether you're aware of it or not, you're setting intentions every month around the new moon. And then there's different phases as the moon grows. The I'm sorry, the it doesn't matter. There's different breakdowns of different phases of the moon, but as like there's action, you're okay. So you set your intentions in the new moon. The first quarter moon, you're supposed to start taking action towards those intentions if you're intentionally doing it or whatever. So say that was your first intention, which was to I believe you said just step out of your like step out of the school life. So let's say you wanted to go on a little adventure. You set the intention. Let's say it's like a hike. The springtime is coming. I feel it in the air. It's beautiful. So like in a week or two from now, if you go on a hike, you're taking action towards the intentions that you set. And this is where the magic really happens. As the moon grows in illumination, the next step would be the full moon. So at the full moon, is when you reflect back, when you're shining light on what's working or what's not working. And if you're shining light on that hike that you took, it's you're creating an energy within, or like a relationship with yourself and the moon, saying I'm setting intentions, I'm taking action towards those intentions, and that things begin to manifest. New adventures will start to appear in your life. A friend will call you up randomly and be like, hey, do you want to take a trip to Spain? I know that's absurd, but it's really not. This is like when magic starts happening and you start using the moon phases to create, to manifest things in your life, manifest things that you set intentions out to do. And I'm like, I've experienced this. It's miraculous. I use the moon all the time now. And I feel like the moon even calls out to me. Like Jen said, like it'll be randomly, I'm on the phone outside, or like I'm driving home from work. Something catches my attention and it's the goddamn moon. It's the moon calling out to me. Like I had no reason to look in that direction of the sky. And then I'll see like it's beautiful crescent shape. And I'm like, ah. So.
Yeah. No, very much. It's wild how it kind of like just hooks you in like that. But I'm curious because so I guess like when I lived back east for not for a short while, just like last year or so, and or I guess it was 2 years ago now. Jeez, that's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so I started going to like these full moon rituals, and it was this beautiful space. Like I absolutely love them, and we would use the full moon, set like full moon intentions or release more. Is for the full moons is more of a release. Um, but I guess like I'm curious, Sophia, like how did you kind of get into this? Because I guess that's like really the most that I've worked with the moon, and I haven't really done much other than that. So like and like we have Jesse here who doesn't hasn't really done anything with the moon, right? So how like it's as simple as setting an intention, but I guess like how did you really start to follow because so even like with my dream journal, right? I had a wild experience last week or like a week or so ago where it was like a complete like lucid astral kind of thing that was going on and it like coincided with the first day of my cycle. So I started like documenting it and I didn't even really think about it until you said like working with the moon cycle, but like even like writing down journaling my astral experiences that have to go along with the moon cycles like that's actually something really cool and could be really helpful for me to know like when is most beneficial. So I guess maybe like I answered my own question. I was going to ask like how do you kind of just like start getting into that, but I guess it's literally as easy as just starting just doing it.
Yeah, I just like really quick. I
Yeah.
really love talking about this because it's like magic, yo. And like, okay, so like I was saying, you don't even need to write it down. You know, I create vision boards now. I create digital vision boards. I think vision boards are like fantastic. And I've literally manifested some things that I've been working with the moon on. So like this is like, okay, so to answer your question, um, the moon started calling my attention. Like I started awareness, right? That's like the number one thing we always talking about is just being aware and being, awake and open to these possibilities. Like I don't care what anybody says when I say the moon is calling out to me. It was, God damn it. And I like it would get my attention out of nowhere. So I started looking into it. I started researching it. And there's a lot of people out there that work with the moon. Like I don't know, Wiccans, pagans. This goes back centuries. This is an ancient old it's really a science. It's not a myth.
The
Eh,
Egyptians as well. I think that's where like all of mathematics, astronomy, all of it
Mhm.
actually kind of like came from, right?
Oh my God, yes. And I go to classes on this because it's so true and it's so fundamentally within me, like a knowing, like I know it to be true. So it started with the awareness of the moon calling to me, and I started researching it, and I realized that I'm not alone. I'm like, oh, look at what all these people are doing. And time after time after time, and all the research that I've done, I took other people's stories to set intentions on the new moon. As the moon starts growing in illumination, act. So like by the first quarter moon, I tested it. That's when I have take action. And then as the full moon comes, you reflect on how far you've come. People even cleanse their crystals at this time to charge them. And we can get into that too. Crystals are not, it's not like a joke. It's not like a cutesy new age thing. This is like, again, an ancient technique used to increase vibrations. And again, your thoughts are vibrations. We're vibrations. If you break down my hand looks solid to you. It's not. It is fucking not solid. If you go down to a molecular level and even beyond that, it's pure energy. So it's really wild to think about. But like, so I started working with the moon. I started setting intentions on my new moon. I started taking action within the first week. I started reflecting on the full moon, on what's working, on if anything had manifested yet. In the last quarter, I would meditate. It's really like there's no science to it, and there's different methods, but it's really generally new moon set intentions, Full moon, you reflect back on what's manifested so far. Between then, you take action. And then as it wanes, is when you really start resting, renewing, reflecting on if those intentions are really what you wanted. And I know this sounds like really abstract right now, but check it out. Here's where the real magic happens. When I started making vision boards, okay, so for every new moon, like right now it's the new moon in Aquarius. Don't quote me, world, but I believe in about 6 months from now, the full moon will be in Aquarius, which makes your intentions that you set from your new moon back in here. Because think about it, right? Like the moon is in a certain constellation. You look up in the sky and you see the Aquarius constellation, and you don't see the moon because it's a new moon and the earth is in the way. By the time 6 months from now, we're halfway around the year now, we're halfway around the sun. Now the full moon is illuminated in that constellation. So there's a pattern there. There's energy there. That means something as far as like if you could see waves in the sky and orbs and circles and like there's a vibrations going on. There's energy happening. It's not for fake. It's not like play around. But so this is a great example. So this podcast, right? I had created a vision board when I first create a podcast, and it didn't even have Gin involved. Like I always been told about my voice, that I have like this unique voice. Like people either love my voice or they hate it. Like, and I started like really in my life reflecting on what was working for me, what's not, how to follow my true passion, because I didn't want to be like I didn't want to be like a robot, you know? So I started looking at like what works for me. So in the new moon in Cancer in particular, I had started talking about setting intentions to start a podcast. The full moon in Cancer, 6 months later, Ginny and I started this podcast.
Wow. Yeah, that is pretty wild.
To me, it's wild because it started with a piece of pen and paper. So my suggestion would be to try it. Like have fun with it. Like make an intention to like travel to fucking Egypt. Like, dude, anything is possible. And then like things will occur if you take action and you do this step, like you work with her. I believe anything is possible. And it's a lot of times it takes time. So
that's my intention for this new moon. You just said it for me.
Oh my God, dude, if Egypt. 6 months from now we're booking tickets to Egypt,
right?
I'm going to be hailing the moon the rest of my life.
No joke.
I believe it to be true. I really do. I think our mind is in control of everything. We're in control of everything we do.
Yeah. Hey, Jess, I want to open the floor to you.
Yeah.
I know that there's kind of like a lot being said. And I wanted to see, like, I don't know, did you have anything that you wanted to add or ask or?
No, I mean, I think it's interesting. Denise, I'm curious to see one of these mood boards and like how you go about making them, or like what's your.
Yeah, dude, there's tons of free apps online. I'd much rather have a physical one, like a tangible one, because I think it adds more energy. Like when you because it's easy to copy and paste an image, you know, into a visual. But anything, Jess, let me stop. Anything will do. I think it's a start. And I want to start creating like an annual vision. Yo, dude, if you read up on really successful people, like, I mean, Mike Dooley's one of them. He's from The Secret. I know I talk about him a lot, but like Beyonce, there's tons of really successful people with money and wealth that use vision boards that literally create and you know, okay, so it's never going to be exactly as your vision boards like. You have it on there, but it comes to a time and things start clicking and synchronicities start happening. You're like, holy shit, I manifested this.
Yeah.
So the moon just helps amplify it. I think the energies of the moon and how that affects us here on Earth.
That's pretty cool.
I'm huge.
Sorry, I'm really passionate about this stuff, guys.
Yeah, I can feel it. I can feel it. I'm very big on like goals lists. I can't say that it really has like much to do with the moon cycles. It's just something that I got into like 2018. I just found my first goal list was from May 3rd, 2018.
Oh my God, I love when that happens. Did you actually achieve a lot of them?
Some of them are like way big. And I'm like feeling like I'm on my way. And that kind of kind of going back to the original intention of the video of like just like what full moon intention, right? Like full moon intention. I have this project that I've been working on. It's called Bahoy, and it has been ebbing and flowing, and I'm just like letting it kind of do its own thing. And I so when I got back from Uganda at the end of May last year, beginning of May last year, I had been trying to put a presentation together for this project that I have in my mind, this Bahoy marketplace, and it hasn't been working. And it was just like 2 weeks ago. I was on a meeting with somebody, and I was like, "Hey, I would love to run this idea by you." And he was like, "I would love to hear it." And it was within 2 days I got the entire presentation, like the entire all of the concepts, like just out in a cohesive manner that I was like able to present. I got really really good initial feedback, so I ended up like tweaking it a little bit based on what they gave, like the information that I got, the input that I got. And I had another session with like I had people from like Sierra Leone, Nigeria,
Wow.
were Uganda, Congo. I had like, and it was just like, and it's like right now I don't feel secure in where I am. I'm moving around constantly. I'm living in different people's houses. This sucks to even have to say out loud, but I'm like back to $20 in my bank account, and like I don't want to keep hitting my credit cards, although money is a whole other thing. Like I'm not worried about it. It's just not a comfortable place to be.
Yeah.
And I have like these fucking amazing ideas that I genuinely I know that they can help like shift the trajectory of humanity. Like I know that that's like my purpose here is to help shift the trajectory of humanity. And it's like these ideas that I have, like I need people, I need partners, and it is very much for a creative project that is like beyond what society can envision right now. And I know that because of how many, I don't want to say fights, but like I get into arguments with people about my ideas because it's not the way that the world works.
Mm,
So people are like, "You're never going to see that. You're never." Okay, man. Well, just try and be optimistic with me for like 5 seconds here. Like, don't yell at me because you want to be pessimistic. Like. So it's an
right.
interesting like to like have to stand your ground when it comes to just like having a good outlook for the future. I find that I find that fucking fascinating. Um,
Right.
but like yeah. So like really like this month. And okay, so what you were saying about the Aquarius new moon and having the Aquarius full moon in 6 months, yes. So because this month was the Leo full moon. Aquarius is Leo's seventh house, so in Leo season during August it's going to be Aquarius's full moon, right? Leo new moon, Aquarius full moon. So like that's, they work like the opposite constellations. Um and by that time, like my intention is to really bring people together. Like there's gonna be Bahoy Marketplace is gonna be like in the works, like actually like happening, and I'm gonna be supported for doing it. Like I that's like last year was a year of balance, right? Like I needed to find balance. This year coming into it, this year is all about abundance.
Mm.
I'm not meant to live with 20 fucking dollars in my bank account, and I
Hell
know
no.
it. Like I know it, like I know that this is like such a joke. Like in like a couple months to a year, I'm gonna be looking back and be like, holy shit, remember that? That was
Yeah.
fun. Like I know it. But I have a very small soapbox to talk about like the abundance that the world gives from where I am, which but that's okay. That's okay because I think that this time is really about what I was going to say, Aquarius seventh house, pulling people together. Seventh house is all about partnerships and collaborations. So with that, Pluto just moved into my seventh house as well. Pluto just moved into Aquarius.
Aquarius.
Um, that might actually be on the 13th. It might be in a couple of days. I'm not sure exactly the date, but I know like we're right in the thrust of that, right?
You just brought up a really good point. Have you
Yeah,
finished?
no, please take the mic.
Okay, so Jessica, for you and for new people that are new to this or might be interested in trying to manifest using the moon or even just better their life a little bit or and be more knowledgeable, what
Yeah.
you should also do when the new moon is in Aquarius, or when it's in any sign, especially during intent, you should find out based on your birth chart where Aquarius falls. So I could actually, I don't know if you want to do it now. I might be able to look it up for you now and see how that applies to you. When's your birthday, Jess? And you
May
guys, okay.
It was a Taurus, right?
Yeah, I think it started with a T.
You know the time? Sorry to cut you off.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Okay.
It'd be like the 10th house, maybe?
So you're saying that mine, like everybody's birth month falls under this.
So Taurus would be your first house, and this is something I'm
What year, Jess?
pretty sure.
2000.
Sorry to cut you off, Jen.
Yeah, so your first house is Taurus.
Okay.
And then so it would just go around like that. I'm pretty sure that's totally how the houses work, because my first house is Leo, 7th is Aquarius. But I think so it would be like, because it's Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, Taurus.
Yes.
So it would be your 9th house. Aquarius would be your 9th house.
Man, every one of these wants an email, but it's important because I think this is really beneficial for people who are looking into work with the moon phases.
Yeah. Yeah, it would definitely and so we'll put link to somewhere you can get your birth chart down below in the not the comments, in the
Description.
Thank you so much. In the description, we'll throw that information, and all you really need is your birthday, your birth time, and your place of birth, and you can calculate your birth chart and everything, and that'll help you see like where the transit is happening, like where it's hitting, what house it's hitting, because each house has a different meaning to it. So like the first house is like the self, the 5th house is fun, creativity, children. The 10th house is going to be like career, stuff like that. So each house has a different like kind of meaning behind it. So where it falls is kind of like where the new opportunity. So like it landing a new moon in my 7th house is for like new partnerships, new relationships that are coming to fruition. Whereas Sophia is a Virgo, so it would be your 8th house, which is death, rebirth, taxes, I think. So you're probably having like a rebirth in some area, maybe, or a death, an ego death of some sort.
Yeah, I mean, it could be.
Good idea. No idea. I don't know, but Pluto moving into that house as well. You should look into it, because it's gonna be, Pluto's like the planet of like destruction, death and destruction. So like where it goes is that, yeah, Uranus is the expansion. I feel like I'm messing something up here, so I'm going to stop on the astrology.
It does. I mean, thank you so much, Jen. But it's important to
it
to
totally
apply it to like your own chart, because
it's easier looking at a chart to explain it. But trying to like, it's going to be confusing to just try and spit it out.
Okay,
yeah,
so
link and then I'll try it. I'm curious.
What's the sign of Yeah, I don't know if right now is the best time to do this. I have your birth chart here, Jess. I just assumed you were born somewhere around Denville, because that plays a part too as to where the constellations fall.
Yeah.
So hold on. That would be
interesting.
Anyway,
your human design as well.
Yeah, let's not do this in particular right now, but because but anyway, I recommend everybody take a look at where Aquarius what falls into the Aquarius constellation on your birth chart, and it also amplifies the energy of those things. And this isn't like this is ancient stuff, guys. This didn't come from New Age people. This is ancient beliefs and ancient ancient beliefs, like even like, okay, so for instance, well, yeah, Virgo being an earth sign, even being said that Virgo is an earth sign, these energies were created a long, long time ago, and people have agreed with this stuff, and it's only been compounded for centuries. So I really recommend you at least like get a little introduction into it. I mean, it's fun. It keeps life interesting, and it's you'll find, I think, a lot of accuracies and ties with what's going on in your life. And being that it's a new moon in Aquarius, now that you find out, if you find out what house Aquarius falls in your particular birth chart, you furthermore those known for centuries, by the way, energies, whether it's home, whether it's the fourth house home, or whether it's, like we said, higher learning or relationships. So you set your intentions based off where it falls in your particular house, and you create even more magic, or you can see even stronger manifestations, I believe.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Cool.
So do you mind, can we all like set an intention right now? Can we go around and set an intention and then see how it plays out, just to show our viewers that, like, well, you see, like, I'm always trying to like justify this type of stuff with, like, as you can see, the get it. Like, I'm always trying to like justify. I really truly believe
I
in
know.
it.
I can kind of tell when you keep saying that it's scientifically backed.
Yeah.
Which it is.
Like,
There's
I
a
don't
lot.
have to. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But that's okay. That's okay because it's a process, you know. It's all a process.
And I know, as myself being like so practical and logical and coming from like this, I questioned a lot of that stuff. So that's why I feel like I keep reiterating it, because for people who, I don't know, we're all from the same area. We're all from Jersey. We're 3 cousins from Jersey. So you guys can understand me, and I'm sure others can too. And then there's others that like don't even have to be told it's scientific, and they believe it because they feel it. So
yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, totally. So my intention is totally going to be to just really build the connections that I need to bring in a flow of abundance. And so, like, if we're setting the intention for this month, it's like by the end of the month, I'll have at least 2 key partners to kind of just know that things are moving forward with, and some sort of work or position on the horizon that I know that I'll be making like a steady source of income.
okay,
That's a
cool.
good one.
You want to go, Jess?
Yeah, I guess my intentions would be finding a balance, a work-life balance.
Cool.
Trying to find be in reality, but also have the things that need to get done separate from each other.
Do you feel overwhelmed right now?
Me?
Yeah.
I actually feel good because I just got done with a bunch of stuff that had to get done, but a new thing's coming up. So for this one, I am taking a balance as strategy to it.
Cool. I love that. I'm working on balance myself this year, in particular my left energy, my feminine energy. I need to balance it out, because you know me, I'm like really like tough and like brotherly, and I want to work on being more getting in touch with my feminine side and being more gentle and soft spoken. Which you can't tell from this episode, because I am really passionate about the moon, because I have firsthand experience with it, and I love the moons. So my intention,
You're a hot mess over there.
I know. My intention would be, I mean, forget about it. My intention would be
The gig is up.
It's been up for like the past 15 minutes. My intention would be to move up in my job. I just recently got a promotion, but I just realized how so far I'm so proud of myself, because I'm using all of my past work experience, and I just know how much of an asset I am. And I want to keep moving up. I don't want to stay stagnant. And I got a couple years left of school. I'm in school also. So yeah, I want to keep feeling, it's not really about the money. It's about feeling good about myself, and like helping the company in a position that I deserve, like they deserve, really. I could do so much better in a higher role. So that's my intention. So I know that's not going to happen by the end of this month, but I guarantee you by the full moon in Aquarius, we'll be talking about my next promotion.
Well, I have a question there,
Yeah.
for you real quick, because is it like you are looking to move up, or are you just looking for something that would fulfill you more? So like I've literally had jobs fall on my lap, dude, like just come right to me. Um, which I'm listening to myself because by the end of the month, I'm gonna have another job come right to me. But if you're trying to move up, that kind of like keeps you where you are instead of like open to other opportunities. So is it like you're looking to be more fulfilled, or you just want to keep with this company and continue to grow with them? And I don't know that that's something that needs to be answered right now, but
No, that's a good question. Like, why not? It's quick because I actually have a really good, well, I have a true,
yeah,
honest answer to this.
perfect.
What I go to school for is super fulfilling. Like I can't say it enough. I say it a lot on this channel, but I'm fucking happy. Like, and as the more my knowledge compounds in musical therapy and sound healing, like the more fulfilling. I never thought I could love it even more. Like I fall in love with music more and more every day. The more, and like I'm just becoming such a great pianist, and I'm proud of myself, and I could say that. And I'm learning guitar now, and it's so natural. Like it's so fulfilling to my heart and my soul. It's like, and I know I'm going to do great things. I've been told by a couple people that I might even invent something. It's a new, well, it's not new. Again, it's ancient. I mean, civilizations have known this for centuries, how sound has an effect on the chakras and has an effect on your overall well-being. But anyway, in the Western world now, we're actually prescribing medicine. So that's what's fulfilling to me. School is fulfilling to me. So moving up at I work at FedEx, guys. There's no secret there. That's really like it's the other one, not fulfilling. Whatever I forgot
The
exactly.
stability.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's getting me through school. And if I end up going to a university outside of Jersey or in Pennsylvania, I'm looking at schools now to transfer to. I mean, there's FedExes everywhere. I can literally so it's convenience, stability, and that's the reason why I want to move up there is just for it feels good. Like it feels good, like to
What
be
if somebody sat in on one of your classes and was like, "Yo, if you leave your job right now, I'll pay you more than you were, and you could do music."
1,000% gone.
Yeah, so don't block yourself off because anything can happen, you know?
All right, thank you. Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you for that. Yeah,
yeah.
and I
It
think
could
those
totally be FedEx,
opportunities
it could totally be the guy who wants to pay you a bunch of money to play music for him.
would
That
be even
sounded so
better.
weird.
I know. You know what that just made me think of? Like maybe I'm attracted. Like it would be so magnificent to me if I could meet a musician and fall in love.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I think
There it
that.
is. Is that your intention?
It could be. It could
Part
be,
of
but
it?
I want to leave that door open because sometimes it's not good to be like. What do I know? Only had one motherfucking relationship and it sucked. Sorry, but what do you,
Yeah.
Jess? What do you think? Do you think in love like you should be have more commonalities than not, or you should be somebody's like counter, like let's say opposites attract, and and tell me what you think.
Opposites 100% attract. Like you don't that's what I believe in 100%. You don't have to have the same hobbies, same thing, whatever. I mean, same interest would be nice, but like because it keeps things different. I don't know. You're not talking about the same stuff 24/7, then you don't run out of conversations because everything's so different. There's one category over here, another category over here, and it keeps things interesting.
So that's like the dilemma I have. It's so true because like I think I would fall madly in love with a musician, but I don't know, dude. I'm overthinking it, but yeah, the doors, and I think as you know, I hope we all feel this way, but as we get more specialized in our field or in what we do, whether it's Reiki, sound healing, architecture, the more opportunities I think will flow. The more energy flows where attention goes. So the more I dedicate and show self-discipline and show self, not show, but yeah, like to myself, this is all like we're co-creating our own realities. So the more attention I put to it and the more I learn and compound my knowledge, I think the more better opportunities are going to come. And I can't wait for that day. And I can say goodbye to FedEx Ground, which is going to be FedEx One, by the way, guys. They're all merging. FedEx Express, FedEx Ground, FedEx.
Are you allowed to say that publicly?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, cool.
Thanks, Jess.
Yeah, I know corporations are weird about stuff like
Yeah, they are. No, it's not. It's public knowledge. So
cool.
buy stock.
That's
They're
fun.
not going anywhere.
Right on.
I feel
Well,
like I talked this whole time, guys. Sorry.
Well,
It's
we've got
the
a lot of
Sophia
Sophia
show.
time today.
No, it was great. It was really knowledgeable.
Mm-hmm.
I hope
Absolutely.
I hope Jessica joins us more often to this podcast because because I love her, because she's my cousin. But also because I think for the viewers it's it's cool to have, her perspective, because we're all
Yeah.
different.
All right. Well, we hope that Jessie comes back as well. And if you enjoyed her company, definitely let us know in the comments. Also, share your new moon intention. What are you hoping to bring in for this next cycle? We'd love to know. So, thank you for joining us. Thank you, Jessie, for coming on with us. Sophia, always
Thanks
a
for
pleasure.
having me.
Yeah.
I love
Awesome.
you guys.
Love you too.